Okay. All right, I think it's working. Oh no, iPad Pro. This one we're probably gonna have to set a time limit on. This one sounds like a unlikely case right out of the gate, but who knows? I want you guys to see how do you go about trying to fix something when there's really no information. So what do we have today? This is an iPad Pro logic board and it doesn't turn on. And I got a note here from Steven who said, love your YouTube videos. Look, Mark, love your YouTube videos. Would love it if you were able to recover the data on live stream. Thank you so much, Steven. I don't think we're going to be able to recover this, but we're going to give it a try. And you never know. So let's start with the note. This is iPad Pro. This is the 12-inch, big one, first generation iPad Pro. Issue description, hi there. First generation iPad Pro 12.9 that has stopped working. So here's the deal. The screen started to be intermittent. Now, intermittent problem with an iPad, I don't know. They get a lot of bendy flexion damage, but not so much the 12.9. Sometimes it would boot up and sometimes it didn't. The screen would come on and then go blurry, which is a very weird and non-classic, and I don't know what that means, then go off completely. Blurry. Like, that's very weird. Ever seen that before? Nope. Me neither. Stupidly, I did not back up the iPad when it came on for the last time, and since then, it stopped working entirely. Now, right from there, I would think top of the list, software, right? Blurry, things like icons moving around, things not loading, which would be not a hardware fault to begin with. So he took the iPad to the Apple Store. That's going to be a waste of time. And they said, unfixable! And they referred him to the people that charge $2,000 to change screens. Drive Savers.
Shall not be named.
Their name is Drive Savers. And I decided to try to have the iPad screen replaced to see if that might work. So he was going to try to do rule number 1. Pretty good. Rule out parts. However, it did not. The repair shop gave me the iPad. The iPad still won't turn on, but even worse, when plugged into the computer, now it says it's in recovery mode. That is even worse and points more to software and not repairable. This only oh, by the way, I didn't mention that part. You're like, why are we here? What would you say the likelihood of recovery is right now? What % chance?
No.
0?
No, not gonna happen.
Okay. I'd say it's got a 5% chance.
Okay.
This only happened after an attempt to replace the screen. So he's saying it wasn't in recovery mode until they attempted to replace the screen. Spoke with you in chat, and it was suggested that I send it in to rule out that there might be a hardware issue, which we are going to do. I do not think that the screen was reconnected to the board. Hopefully, this is the reason it's gone to recovery. Nope, it's not going to go to recovery. It doesn't really care about the screen.
That'd be nice.
However, let's start with step number 1, physical exam. So we have the board out. So this is the housing. The housing is pretty nondescript. So nothing of interest here at the housing. Did you find a way to get on chat, Mark?
Yeah, I'm on chat.
Are you? Are you? Wait, you're typing? That's
Yes.
not how it works. No, you're supposed to like chat. Like, hey, chat. Like that.
No, it is,
Like delete the catalytic converter. That's what you're supposed to say.
How can I talk shit if I'm letting you in on?
Right. That's exactly. Okay. So, let's see. I have a computer that you can use to put the iPad in to make it work again. Thank you, Mike. That's a fantastic idea. All right, physical exam. Let's head away from hand cam and let's go to the microscope. And we're going to see what's what. So we've looked at this very briefly enough to go, that's weird, and say, why not make a stream? That's pretty much where we are right now. So what I'm looking for and what I'm really hoping to see with an iPad Pro is coils kind of jumping off the board. I'm wanting to see these guys ice cubing out of their positions. Christy, does the 12.9 get coils jumping off the board?
Haven't seen it.
Haven't seen it. Okay, what is any signature problem that you have seen with iPad Pro 12.9?
Just your basic touch and backlight.
Touch and backlight. Okay. And we can see touch right here. So this is the...
Oh. They did not disconnect it. Somebody asked if they disconnected the battery, and I didn't know that this was the board you were working on.
Yes. The answer is no. They didn't.
No, they didn't.
Right. So now
I was
this
wrong.
this damage here is very classic, and it can only happen by connecting the screen with the battery connected. So it's really not related to the problem. So what this tells us here, there was an explosion. This kind of explosion happens because of a transient short to ground, and that short to ground can only be here in the connector. And that means you had live main voltage. Now, the iPad Pros are unusual because in addition to having the battery power going through, becoming main being delivered to the connector at backlight, iPad Pro has main also delivered to the connector for touch. Now, all of the other devices that we work on don't use main power for touch. They use chestnut output for touch. So touch doesn't go directly to the connector. So it doesn't get this sort of damage from I connected the screen without disconnecting the battery. But iPad Pro does, and it's really set up.
Why is that? Why is main coming through the connector for touch on the Pro, but not on other things where it's a chestnut output?
I don't know why the Pro doesn't have chestnut.
I know why.
Why?
Because the touch ICs are on the screen on the Pro, so it needs battery voltage.
What do you mean the touch ICs are on the screen on the Pro?
The only voltage provided for touch on the Pro is main. And then everything else is done on the
Just like on the phones. iPhone 6s, the touch ICs are also not on the board, they're on the screen.
We need
and
to disassemble one of the daughter boards and see what's under there.
Well, it's going to be touch ICs. Oh, you're well, I don't know why touch ICs are powered by main, but you think this isn't main. You think it's boosted somewhere else. You said you measured that was 22 volts.
I mixed that up when I told you that with
wait a minute, is that another word for it? That was a lie?
With the iPad Air 2 with the Stinger.
All right. Okay. That's okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, what's going on here? This is 100% for sure. I had main power going through here for touch. Why is it main power instead of 5? I don't know. But that was shorted to ground by connecting the screen, and that caused a little explosion. But that is not relevant to the overall problem here. And the problem that we're seeing is not relevant to the description, so we don't really know what's going on. So let's dive into this a little bit more. So regardless of what's going on here, this is a problem with touch, and it's a problem that's sort of in the, for later category. Thanks, GeoBear. I see $10. Question, I'm thinking about learning how to fix these devices as a hobby. For example, buy some broken devices from eBay or so, fix them and donate them to people in need. Dumb idea. It's not a dumb idea, but it's not going to work because everybody has that idea. In fact,
don't plan on making profit.
Yeah, well, a guy that was just left here from our training, he was with us for 7 days, has the exact same idea, and so do lots of other people. So the eBay marketplace tends to be really competitive.
I have a suggestion.
Yes?
If you're going to buy devices intending to repair them on eBay, look up the people that are selling them, make sure it's an end user. Don't buy any broken device from
a repair shop, sells phones,
multiple broken things.
Right. So just to answer your question, I think it's a good way of thinking. But eBay tends to be the worst marketplace for buying repair stock, because if you break your phone, you're going to try to fix it. And after you haven't been able to fix it, only then do you put it on eBay. But people go to eBay with human hopefulness, hoping for those easy fixes. Maybe it's just a cracked screen. Maybe it's something that would be straightforward to repair. So they tend to overbid and bid those things up way too high. That doesn't really reflect their real problem. So when you get eBay lots, they're almost always going to be iCloud locked. and they're going to have difficult, complex problems that people have already tried to solve and fail. So look around locally. That's where you want to look for repair stock or connect with a refurbisher or something like that. Mark, speak on microphone, please. Yeah, see? We have not solved the mic problem. I have to yell to be heard. That's your thing. No, of course Mark is not drinking beer. Mark's been sick and he is drinking water and trying to stay hydrated because he has to go back home tomorrow to Florida. All right, what are we gonna do to proceed? I think we are going to leave alone this touch filter damage because the only thing it could possibly be doing would be to be causing some kind of a main short. I don't know. Do you think it's worth it to like knock it off the board or something, Mark, right now? Or leave it alone?
Is there still like a piece of it on there?
Yeah, not anymore.
Okay.
A few seconds ago, yeah. All right, so
Leave it alone then.
we're going to just kind of make sure that we don't have any kind of like second layer or anything going on. And we're just going to leave that to be now an open line. That's going to be open touch filter. And we are going to come back and solve that problem if we ever get to that point, which I don't think is going to happen. All right, next I'm going to do a quick diode mode reading here on main. Now, how do I know where main is in the iPad Pro? You don't really. You kind of have to guess because 0.145, that seems like a normal reading for main on iPads. But you kind of have to guess. There's not very much information for working with the iPad Pros, and it's really frustrating. It's also kind of fun because you get to be more of a detector. Let's go to ZXW, and we are going to look to see what we do know. What is there? So this is the only shred of information that we have for iPad Pro. So we can go over here and look for, here's our touch filter, and we can click the other side of it, and we can see stuff highlighted in red, and we can go, is that main? Yes, because we see these classic patterns. We can see, oh, main's going to these coils that when we look on the board, they look like backlight coils. It looks like the same backlight coil combination that's in every device. So let's look at that.
So I was going to say, when I have an unknown device and I'm looking for main, I look for the biggest coils on it. Because
yes,
the biggest
coils
are usually on main.
Yes. And here we go. Here's two big coils. And then when we see these adjacent diodes, and we can see reading the board that these diodes are adjacent to these two coils, that's the same diode that's used for every backlight in any iPad. So then we can have a good story. Yeah, that's definitely going to be side A and side B backlight. And there may even be a side C, who knows? But that is going to correspond to main. And then when we look back at ZXW, we can see that those coils are right there.
Diodes might be capacitors.
What do you mean those diodes might be capacitors? Oh, those? Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, look at that. Okay,
Just
so let's
you some of the
saving some comments. Mark's like, wow, yeah, you are totally right. Yeah, let's move to where I meant to be, right here. These diodes. Wow, look at that. Good old John Henry the diode. Yeah, these are diodes, and where I was before, coil, diode. Right here, coil. I don't know. I still think they're diodes.
No,
I don't think they're
caps.
capacitors. Do you?
Yeah.
Let's find out. They're going to be ground then. You're 100% sure?
I've been down this road before.
How many pros have you fixed? Oh, I know. You're on Christie Rescue Detail when you go to
every
Force.
month, a couple.
Oh, you got it. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, all right. Is it charging then? What are they for?
I am not sure. I've never traced those like to figure out what they do, because that's what sucks is that ZXW is for the iPad Pro is basically just an interactive bare board.
Yes, exactly. All right. So main then, when I look for main, I look for, let's see, when I'm trying to identify main on an unknown device, I'm going to look for the power management chip, because main is going to be kind of clustered around it, because there's usually a whole bunch of main caps that are there as main enters any power management chip. You'll see a whole bunch of it. So kind of like a ring around a chip. And that's what we can see here at what must be the power management chip. We can sort of see this like ring of main, and then you can see how it will enter the, buck input 1, buck input 2, and you can kind of see these little lines around what's the power management chip. So that's another sort of clue that this is the main power rail. Is that a problem in this device? I don't think so, because this has what is typically a normal resistance to ground for main power rails in any iPad. So I don't think that we have a problem on main. So with no other physical damage other than, there's a touch filter that's blown up from somebody plugging in a screen wrong, which does mean that the device was under power. At least it had main power when somebody plugged the screen in. That doesn't really help us with our problem. So the complaint on the note is that this should automatically boot to recovery. So let's test and see if that's indeed true. So we're going to have to connect this now to DC power supply. So let's go back to the hand cam and let's see. You're going to have to, your job is to interact with chat so that I can interact with chat. That was the job.
Okay.
Maybe I wasn't. Maybe it wasn't. Oh, I don't think I wasn't clear. Yeah.
That was not the job I applied for.
All right. So in order to get this thing to try to plug it in, we got to figure out how the heck are we going to connect it to DC power?
Quentin Smith says, if CXW has board layout with netlist, can't you reverse engineer a basic schematic from it? Yes, you can.
Yes, and when you finish, please send it to info@iPadRehab.com.
Well, except that ZXW does not have the netlist.
It doesn't have the net list. It has just the pictures of what's connected.
It tells you what you could find out with a bare board and a multi.
But you could reverse engineer a schematic. You would get, and this is the fun thing. What's this guy's name?
Quentin Smith.
Quentin. You would get to name it like Quentin main and Quentin output 1 and Quentin output 2 as you trace it all out. Get busy. I can't wait. You probably have it done in about 5 years, just when the very last iPad Pro is coming out of service, which is why, this right to repair stuff, if it were to include schematics, which it definitely won't, would be really cool. Let's do this. Let's do a continuity test and find out which one of these battery connections is ground.
We got Ned Heinlein asking for warranty or mod hookup because somehow his macro lens, which I'm assuming is for his
Seek? He should send an email to info@iPadRehab.com.
All right, there we go. info@iPadRehab.com.
All right, so this one here is ground, and this is not ground. So we're going to hook up DC power just like that. All right. So this is ground. And one of the little pro tips that we had to learn the hard way is that usually I put tape over the battery connector when I'm using these alligator clamps to apply some juice to it. But the alligator clamps like to eat through the Captain tape. So this was Mark's idea to put a little piece of paper there or something.
Yeah. That's
all right. So now we have it connected. Yeah.
Do we take walk-in drop-offs for an iPhone SE screen that needs a new screen replacement?
Right now? No, we're close.
Not today, but he's going to be in the area in a couple of days.
Then no, he should call because we will probably be taking a week off since we have been working at least 14 hours a day for the last 7 days. So always call first, although our Google hours are generally correct. Okay, so now we've got this hooked up to regular old battery voltage, and we can prompt it to boot. Mark, remember your other job?
No. Yes, I do.
What is it?
Tell you what the thing says.
Yes, you are going to report on all, not just that, all instrumentation. Okay. So they are going to want to know.
4.1 volts, 330 degrees OL.
What?
4.1 volts, 330 degrees OL.
Okay, no, you gotta like say it a little bit more clear. So 4.1 volts, 0 current on DC power supply. Now we're gonna prompt to boot, and you have to tell them what happens with the trust-based DC power supply. All right, prompt to boot. So I'm prompting it to boot.
Like 0, 170, 300, 0, 260, 300, 300,
Hanging at 300 milliamps.
300.
300, 300, 300,
So we
300,
looped a
300.
couple of times, then we just settled around 300.
Yes. So DC current went 0 before prompt to boot, which is good. And then when we prompted to boot by USB, flicker, 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 and then steady 300. Usually that's good news because a steady high 300 milliamp is going to be something is short to ground. But where? So let's look with the thermal camera to kind of get a hint, some sort of a guess on what might be the deal. So let's use thermal camera. And we're going to see what's getting hot. So hopefully you guys will be able to follow along with us. All right, what is getting hot with the thermal camera? And it's pretty clear that we have a hot spot, and that hot spot is right around here. It's right kind of at this corner bracket. All right, so this is the kind of resolution that we're able to get. So we can see that there's a hot component that's next to a row of guys and a little dude underneath it. There we go, something like that. All right, so now let's see if we can find that on the board. So we're going to disconnect. It's still hanging at 300 milliamps, so we're going to disconnect from USB, and we're going to disconnect from DC power supply, and let's take a look. Let's see what do we find. Let's go back away from hand cam, and we're going to look under the microscope. What's it going to be? All right. So the pretty nondescript, kind of boring looking spot that's getting hot is this guy right here. This guy right here. What kind of a thing is this? I do not know. I do not know what kind of a thing that is. When I look to see, is that familiar? Does it look like anything? It kind of reminds me of maybe like the grape input, grape input on iPad mini.
Yeah.
And what else can you think of that looks like this? I feel like there's another guy kind of by TriStar maybe on iPad mini. I almost feel like grabbing a mini to see.
I mean that, because he's not even BGA. Like, he's...
I know, but neither is that grape chip.
Yeah.
Where's a mini? I really kind of feel like looking.
Good luck.
There's like 1,000 minis. Let's see. Let's go behind door number 1 and look for a mini. 1,000, land of 1,000 minis. Yeah, see? Look how easy that is. You can get like 100 minis. Let's see if I can find what I mean. Yeah, this guy right here. That guy.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Let's take him off.
Right. He totally does not do the same thing. Like, he's not the same kind of guy. Now,
Yeah, I don't know.
I want to ask you a totally unrelated question to this repair.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
how often do you...
Does this have to do with chat?
How often do you start streaming a repair that you really don't have any idea or even think is likely that you'll be successful?
A lot. How often do you?
Never. Not even once.
Why?
Because.
I think it's I'll tell you what makes for a boring channel. Jessa fixes easy shit all the time that she pretty much knows what's going to happen. Ba-doom boom. That's not exciting. I wouldn't watch that.
Hey, my target demographic is beginners. I want to just let them...
You're inspiring them.
Yeah, exactly.
My target demographic is thinking people that like solving puzzles, and maybe they'll help me fix stuff. And you got to keep it exciting because you never know if it's gonna get fixed or not. All right, so this is a BGA chip, and we don't know whether or not that other guy is a BGA chip or not. All right, you don't know that. You don't know that except for cheating. That's not allowed. How do you know that, Mark?
Because of the shape of the pads on ZXW.
Right, which we haven't looked at, so that's cheating. See where I'm going with that?
Looked at it.
Huh? Well, we're leading to the story. All right. All know, Mark at the end of course week. All right. So the guy that gets hot here is this shape, and I'm trying to think what else looks similar, and I kind of think he looks most similar to that mini BGA chip, which had, was that a 6 or an 8? That's a 6 ball guy. A little bit smaller as I look at it. Okay, let's look up on ZXW and see what can we learn about. In fact, I'm going to spin this so that it's going to look most similar to ZXW. So here we go. Spin it around. And all right. So the guy that gets hot is this dude right here.
And you can just look at an angle and see he's not BGA.
Can you though?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Totally.
I don't think you could make that call.
No gap.
I mean, you'd guess that,
I'd
but
get
I
in
don't
there
think
with
you'd be
my
sure.
hook tweezers and be like,
All right,
oh, there's no gap.
ZXW is going to show us, let's see, where is this dude on ZXW? It is this shape right here. Now this is hard to see, so we're going to use the coils for our orientation. So remember, on our board, we have tiny coil and then 1, 2, 3 big coils. And then we've got this sort of row of components until we get to our chip. So let's look over at ZXW and we can see that we've got the same thing. Tiny coil, 3 big coils, this row of dudes, and then here is our chip that gets hot. Now chips that get hot don't mean that's the cause of the short. They have to have a mechanism. What gets hot is this thinnest wire, not necessarily the thing that's short. Although usually when something like a capacitor breaks, it becomes the thinnest wire. But it's not a rule. So let's try to guess, what does this thing do? So this here is main. And I know that because of probing around a little bit pretty much randomly. So I took my multimeter and I stuck it on continuity mode, and I was just probing around to see if I could kind of guess what this guy does. And I really don't know what he does, but I found this guy. One side is ground, so that makes him a cap. This is ground. The other side is main, because you can just kind of beep around the PMIC, and it's going to beep to the other places that we know are main. All right, so that tells us that we have main power, and we could kind of build a schematic, right? So here's the schematic. Main is going into this chip. And what else do we know about this chip? This chip has 8 pads, so it's got main, and then it's got ground, and then we can click and see a little guy here. Its pad goes to a little resistor. I think that's a resistor. It looks like maybe it's a cap. I thought it looked like a resistor, but let's find out. Yes, it is a resistor. Right.
Yeah.
So it goes to a resistor, and that resistor is on ground. So let's just check if maybe both sides are ground. So let's see if that line might be short. All right, ground on one side and not ground on the other side. So that's normal. All right, 0.5. Okay, and what else can we learn about what this chip does? What does chat think this chip does? What do you guys think? So we have a line here that just goes to this ground resistor. Could that be, I don't know, some kind of charge protection? This looks like power, and I see what's going on here. I see power management, PMIC, so we already know that's the PMIC, and we can see that there's a bunch of coils. So we see coils, we think buck or boost. This is probably buck, and we can see how there's 1, 2, 3 inputs that all lead to the same output. And where is it going? We can see some capacitors, and this line is going to CPU and these guys, which I'm gonna guess, and I don't know for sure, but these guys to me look like this is what's typically the SDRAM that's normally on top of the CPU. It looks like it's been kind of lifted off the CPU and kind of put on two sides next to the CPU. So that's what I think is going on there. So this looks like power for a lot of SD-RAM. So if I was going to guess, it would be like 1 V8 or 1 V2 SD-RAM. And then what's going on? So in iPhones or in any other device you've worked on, can you think of an example where the PMIC doesn't just control SD-RAM, that it kind of goes through a chip?
I can't think of an equivalent to what's going on here.
Me neither. So I don't know this chip. So maybe somebody somebody thoughtful can give us some ideas. What's on the other side of this chip? So we have what seems like it's some kind of CPU or RAM power, and then on the other side it looks like the same thing where we see a coil, we see PMIC, we see a coil, and it looks like the output then goes to this chip as well as going to CPU and RAM. And then we've got one other line here under this chip, and that just goes to this component, which looks like a capacitor. I don't really know. So that guy is actually under this shield. So why is this guy getting hot? One idea is it's getting hot because it's the thinnest wire on a short circuit that's actually one or the other of these two power lines, 1 and 2. So I don't know what the normal voltage is on those two power lines. So what I'm going to try to do is see if I can use a known good board to find out the answer to what is the power supposed to be on those two lines. That might give me a hint to see if one or the other of them is short. And if so, then why is that? So let's do that. We have a...
Keenan Fessler suggests that it might be a voltage regulator or FET.
But none of these...
And Aaron E. says, so some kind of dual buck converter for 1 V8 and 1 V2. But then why is that not internal to the PMIC like
every other device that we've ever crossed? Yeah, give us some more ideas, guys.
Ben Wilson says, I wonder if the chip ties into a reset line. It could be checking for stable voltage before starting other chips.
Okay. All right, so what we're going to do here, let's go back to hand cam, is we're going to use this known good. So I've got a different known good iPad Pro right here. And you can tell because Chrissy labels everything like super awesome. Probably garbage is her favorite label, but known good.
Favorite of her labels.
Probably garbage. I hate probably garbage because it's just like don't ever do anything with this. Skip and avoid this from now on because it's probably garbage. All right. So I've got this connected to battery, and I'm gonna hope that it's charged up enough to actually generate those voltages, because that would be easiest. And that would be convenient. All right, so I'm prompting this to boot. I'm just plugging it in, which with the battery means we got juice, at least in theory. So let's go on a hunt for that same exact spot. And we're gonna try to measure some voltages so that we know what's normal, and that's going to help us figure out what's up with this thing.
Wantomac wants to know if you've checked the all power good line.
Where would that be located in the iPad Pro? Please, bro. Yes. Yeah. All right. So that's what's difficult about chat, is that 90% of chat is sure, but then every now and then, there's like thoughtful folks that are gonna definitely know more than we do.
If I've ignored you, it's not because I didn't see it.
All right, so let's see. I'm gonna stick a multimeter here. This device is under power, and we're gonna find out. So let's see where is a good spot. All right, Mark.
We have 1.1.
All right, 1.1 volts. So 1.1. That sounds like it could be like 1v1 SD RAM, CPU RAM voltage. Sounds perfectly reasonable. 1.2 is typical, so is 1.1 in some of these other devices. And now the other line, which I have already forgotten. Okay, where is the other line? So we just got 1.1. So let's remember that. On the 3 coils, we should see 1.1, which means going to our hot chip, we should have 1.1 volts. So if internal to this chip somehow this line is short to ground, then we should see less than 1.1. But what about the other line that this chip sits on? So let's see, where is a good spot to measure it? We're going to measure it right at this tiny little coil. There's 2 caps that are below it. So let's go and see what that voltage is.
Jessa?
Yes.
Why you don't use the same software as Lewis Rossman, Paul Daniels software?
Because I do use Paul Daniels software when I'm working on MacBooks.
Yes. I pay for the
I paid Paul Daniels for the Flex board view as
we
well.
both paid?
I paid. I paid for me and Bailey.
What? I paid for nothing.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what to tell. And then when I paid, he immediately called me and said, I didn't mean for you to pay.
He didn't call me.
He didn't tell you that?
He didn't.
Oh. We don't use Paul Daniels software because he didn't let Mark get it.
I paid Paul Daniels.
I paid Paul Daniels
I
too.
support small developers.
I paid Paul Daniels because I support small developers as well. And when we teach MacBook, we do use Paul Daniels software. But for iPhones, we use what we've always used, which is ZXW. All right.
Alex Canty wonders if it's possibly a current sense situation.
Don't know. All right. On this other rail here, we have 0.8, which it's very hard to find. It's very hard to find, people that are able to do quality workmanship. A true craftsman whose only job is to read out these values would certainly not be sitting there doing nothing.
0.8. 0.8, yeah.
0.8. Okay, that definitely sounds like CPU power.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So now we know in the normal device what those 2 lines, this is our current thinking, that these are 2 power lines. And why are they of interest? Because they're the only 2 things that go to this little dude that is getting hot on what appears to be some kind of a short circuit at 300 milliamps. And it is at least somewhat consistent with the problem. Now I'm going to unscrew the battery before I do anything else so that this can be isolated from battery, which is, as we know, crazy important for the iPad Pros.
So what are you going to do? You gonna jam 0.9 volts right in there and just see what lights up, or?
No, I'm going to see what the voltage is. I'm going to see whether or not those are short. If they're short, then I think that the voltage is going to be low.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So if they're not short, then actually I'm going to go looking to see the other thing around that chip, which is that little cap. Mm-hmm. I'm going to see what's up with that.
Mm.
But let's see. Let's find out. I've already forgotten which side. How do I connect this dog on? Or I will entertain quality ideas from chat. Help me fix this for Stephen. Stephen, where are you? How about you give us some good ideas on how to fix your own board?
Yeah, Stephen.
Come on, Stephen.
Stephen,
you wanted to see a live stream of your iPad Pro. Well, here it is.
You need to text Stephen.
Yeah. Tell him what's what.
Hey, bro.
Well, I was too tired.
Turn on the stream.
I was too tired to watch this nonsense. I don't know. Sounded like I probably should have sent it to Drive Savers, where they could have said, "Does it need a new screen?" Then F this. All right. Did you know that we got a phone from Drive Savers that only needed a new screen?
Yeah, I'm like. That's why
No,
when
it's
you
okay.
asked me, when we were recording something earlier, and you asked me like, "Do you think this is what Drive Savers does all day?"
Oh yeah.
Like
That was a student.
I had to bite my tongue to not say no. They just like refuse to even try new screens.
Oh yeah. That would have been funny. All right. You know what I'm mad about them? This other phone, this one right here, that is here on a drive saver.
That you like
post.
already told Mike how to fix it.
Yes. And that it's like when you tell some like, hey, I'm calling you up and telling you how to fix this, and then they're like, great, now we'll charge them $1,900. That's messed up. All right, so now we're gonna be back under power. Let's prompt a boot and let's go see on our bad board what those voltages are. All right, so blink. What's up with the blink? You know,
I know
0, 300, 0, 300. Yeah, it's weird.
Sometimes they do that.
Do they? Have you ever seen that happen before?
I just saw it like 5 minutes ago.
Before that?
Also on an iPad Pro.
Was it this iPad Pro?
Yes.
Yeah, that doesn't count. That's not a finding.
So
All
you
right.
mean we don't have enough data points yet?
Yeah, exactly. Data points equals 0. And we just saw it not happen on that other iPad Pro. So therefore, all right, here we are at our 3 coils, and the voltage was 1.1 on the other board, and this one is
1.1.
okay, and then over here it is
0.9.
okay. It's actually more 0.9. The other one was 0.8. What the heck is that? Jeez. Yeah. Okay. So 0.9. You know, CPU voltages do kind of go in states sometimes. 0.8, 0.9, 0.95, you know, on the schematic like that.
Yeah.
So these lines, now we know, they actually have the normal voltage. So there's that. Now,
iPhone 10 boot looping after water went into earpiece with hose. Remove the flex, now boot. How can I say Face ID?
you can go to the Apple store, pay them $300, and you can have new Face ID.
You just solder all the little chips from the old Face ID to the new Face ID.
Yeah, well, that's another thing you could do. Lots of different ways. All right, so now I don't know why this guy is getting hot, because the only power rails that we can see that are outside of this guy don't appear to have a short. They're holding their normal voltage. I guess we could let's do straight up resistance to ground and just check to see if there's something up with either one of those.
Now we're talking.
All right, resistance to ground, 630. I remember why I hate resistance to ground so much.
Count? Where's it gonna stop? You make your bet.
I bet it's gonna stop at 649. I think it's gonna stop at 657.
I say 658. Price is Right rules.
And how long? How long do we wait? Oh no! Oh
Keep it
no!
on there.
No, it's
All right,
like you know what it's like. It's like the showcase showdown, or what's it when they used to spin the wheel? Is that what it's called? The showcase showdown? I don't know. Whoa! Look at that. How did we?
We're up to
Did
1.3K.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's why I don't do resistance.
I thought I would make an exception, and I regret it. Back to good old diode mode. Diode mode. 0.242.
3.
All right, other guy. Other line.
0.312.
0.312. That sounds pretty legit. Let's go over here and just kind of check on these guys. All right.
.161.
So over here, 0.161.
That's low.
That is low, but this is the known good. Look, this is the known good. See, you know how you can tell. It says known good. Yeah, so on the known good, there is only 0.161 diode mode units. And the other one is 0.242, which you could get if you had something bridged into something else. Then it might still have the normal voltage.
Of the two. It's going to take the path of least resistance.
All right, and then let's do this other one. 0.341. And what was it? I thought it was 0.161. I forgot. 0.34 and 0.16.
Okay, just remember these.
I'll remember the 0.34.
0.16.
I'm remembering 0.34.
Okay, 0.16.
0.34.
0.33.
Okay, so that one's fine.
0.25.
It's supposed to be
0.26.
0.16.
Okay, so whatever on our known good board has a lower resistance path to ground through it, that is malfunctioning.
Okay.
So
these coils aren't on very good. I still don't see how that. I mean, but they have the same voltage, didn't they? Wasn't it 1.1?
yeah, but
1.1?
it may be able to like. Yeah, I don't know.
It's
It's
a power.
weird.
It's power.
It's
like,
weird.
It's weird, just like everything about this thing. Weird.
Yep.
Okay.
Not my
Next.
favorite.
Not my favorite thing, but we did it for you, Steven. Don't forget. All right. So now let's explore our other idea here. Why is this guy getting hot?
Does that part get hot on the known good board?
Yeah, that's a good question. Let's investigate that after. Let's investigate this. We don't have any eyes on this.
Okay.
So, whoops, ZXW. So we don't have our eyes. There's a bracket that covers this part here. So why is this guy getting hot when we don't detect a problem that would explain heat, i.e. short to ground? In fact, if anything, we detect less short to ground than normal. So on this line, we actually have more resistance to ground than normal, but the voltage is normal. On this line, at the guy that's getting hot, we have also the normal voltage and the normal resistance to ground. So what's up with that? Why is this guy getting hot then? One, this kind of doesn't really go anywhere. It's just a resistor, so that doesn't have any kind of mechanism for failure. You know, PMIC is kind of its own thing. This is main is fine, and that leaves this. So we have this line that probably goes to a capacitor, but it's hidden under a bracket. So maybe, like on a TriStar bypass cap short, for example, maybe this guy can't do his job because there's a short to ground on this cap. So let's go put our eyes on it. How's that sound?
Sure.
All right, sounds good. So his location is under this bracket. So we can't see him. He's located, right under there. So we're going to use some bracket cutters.
So, Wantomek,
What?
he wants to know why we don't just swap CPU plus storage plus any other chips with an ID to a known good board.
Jeez. Because
I mean, it's probably not that difficult with a chip where the RAM is not stacked on top.
yeah, I mean you could, but the main thing is where are you going to get a known good board? You're going to have to buy an iPad Pro, right? So I'm not going to sacrifice the only known good that I have because I use it for this exact purpose. So that would make it prohibitively expensive, at least
if we
for
were charging
us.
$2,000 per job.
Yeah, right. So in fact, if we made, you know what? If I did the next couple jobs where I charged $2,000 each one, that I only had to change a screen on, then I could probably afford to get a brand new iPad Pro that I could then take the working logic board out of and swap those chips over. I mean, it would be doable, and we do that. Like if it came to that where we said, well, we've left no avenues unturned, Stephen, then we would re-quote it for CPU swap, which is we totally offer. You can go check on the website and see how much does it cost to do CPU swap. Okay, now this little cap that we can see now looks beautiful.
I just have to share the message Cecilia just sent me.
Yes, I'm sure Cecilia would love to share with everyone.
My nursing assistant looks like he's in high school and calls me ma'am. So there's that. That's the thing I needed.
Ma'am. I know. Yeah. Stop with the ma'ams. If you want to be respectful, just say miss. And then,
Yeah,
it'd be like, Miss, can I get you some more water? That would make her day. That's how you can be a gentleman. Call everyone Miss, no matter if they're 100 years old. Hey,
Yeah.
Miss. Hello,
Hello,
Miss.
ma'ams.
Hello, Miss. Can I open the door for you? Yeah. No more, ma'am. Say no to ma'am. Ma'am is like a huge slap in the face. Ma'am just means, ma'am, ma'am,
Oh, now,
ma'am,
Now I'm gonna start doing it.
ma'am, ma'am, ma'am. Can you please stop hammering, ma'am? All right. So now let's rule out the slim chance that we actually have a short circuit on that guy. Nope, hopes are dashed. Normal resistance on that guy. All right, so now we don't have any explanation for what this guy does and why he's getting hot. Before we just take him off, I think it's a good idea to say, let's make sure that guy just isn't the normal hotspot on every iPad Pro. So let's find out on the ye old known good hand cam.
Richards with a Z
Richards. Yeah.
says, I prefer mate to sir.
Mate. Yeah, exactly. It's the same thing. Sir, I'm going to need you to come down to the station. That's what sir sounds like
I
to
thought
me.
if you were Australian, you only called people mate, like in a condescending way.
What? No.
Like that.
Like g'day mate is
Yeah,
is
like-
hello asshole?
Ben told me that you call people that you think are cunts mate, and you call people that are your mates cunt.
That is, I mean, I knew Australia was upside down. Like, I knew about the toilets flushing and the summer is winter, but that I didn't know.
You didn't tick the box for this is made for children, did you?
What?
In the stream settings? You're like, there's a box now. Is this,
No, I don't.
Is your
Not,
target audience children?
yes. Children at heart. All right. Okay. All right. Let's see. With the ye old thermal camera on the known good, I've got to get these bracket cutters out of here. Let's see what happens when.
Richard said that was a lie. Mate is friendly.
Yeah. Yeah, mate. Come on.
Right, well, I'm going to tell Ben Duffy he's a goddamn liar.
Cunt. All
Did
right.
he tell you this right after he called you a cunt?
Yeah, did he? Yeah, did this come up right after he called you a cunt?
No, I confirmed it with that crazy Australian guy we met in New Orleans.
Let's not talk about anything he did, because I did not check the box for kids.
Yeah, that is not stream appropriate.
That is
content.
not stream appropriate content. All right, prompt to boot on the known good, and I'm holding battery down, and let's see what, if anything, gets hot. Does that dude get hot? The old known good just connected to the computer. Way to go, known good.
So Keenan Fessler says, from the way it is connected, it seems to be a high ripple rejection and low dropout voltage regulator. They are popular in that IC footprint.
Keenan, what time are you coming over? It's 9:46. Or how far are you from Honey I Falls? We'll make Mark run to the beer store if you can make it in 20 minutes or so. We need some help. All right. So on this known good, that component does not get hot. All right, Mark.
Do you wear Crocs with socks?
I would if I was cold and I live in New York. I would also wear pajamas to work.
Where would you wear the Crocs to?
Work. Where I don't go anywhere but
You
work.
walk through snow with Crocs on, with socks on?
Yeah.
Huh.
Why?
No, no reason.
Wouldn't you?
No. I would wear them in the house. Not
right?
the snow. Your socks are going to get all soaked with cold snow wetness.
It wouldn't be my. I mean, I would only do it if I was like, running outside because Mark's about to run over Underdog in the truck or something like that.
Okay, you wouldn't tromp through the 2 feet of snow to like get into the van and drive somewhere.
If there was any other available choice, I would choose the Crocs last. But I also, how about this? Would you walk all the way downstairs to get your shoes, or would you just wear the Crocs in the snow?
I would not put socks on. I would wear the Crocs with no socks.
Okay, I would do that too. I would take
that
my
changes
punishment.
everything.
What are you talking about?
Crocs with no socks is totally different than Crocs with socks.
It's really not an issue because Crocs are going to be harder to find than anything else. All right, I think it's time to take off this chip. Because according to our calculations, it doesn't seem to impede those lines from doing their job, the 2 power lines. So it's problematic because it's getting hot. We don't know why. It doesn't have a mechanism for why it's getting hot. Something else, but maybe we can disconnect that. Who knows? Maybe it's the ball under the PMIC. We can at least check for pads under there being short or whatever. I think it's time to take off this chip.
Okay.
You got any other ideas?
I probably would try. I would probably end up there, but I would probably try injecting the voltage in each of those lines first to see if like one causes that chip to heat up and the other doesn't.
Yeah, I could see the point in that, but I'm not going to do it.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, but I like the thought. Who else? Keenan and Mark. Who else can help out on this job? All right, let's flip this around, and let's try.
Michael Dennis says, move the sticky note to the other board. Done.
I love it. Let's do it. Let's just say, Steven, does it have to be your data? How about any data? How about this, Steven? Whatever it is that you really want to recover off that, let's say family vacation. Mail us a picture of your family, and we will Photoshop the heads onto somebody else's data recovery. We'll send it back to you. And it's, it's pretty much the same. I think so. All right, so we are going to delete the hotspot. I mean, this really doesn't have a mechanism for how is this dude going to suddenly... Oh, this really looks that one in the iPad mini. Doesn't it? It looks a lot like that one in the iPad mini. The grape one. Looks a lot like that grape one.
Looks a lot like the guy that's in the iPad Air, like the newer ones.
I don't work on the newer iPad Airs.
MacBook Air. MacBook Air.
Okay.
Yeah, a little 8-pin guy that, oh god, I forget. He's something to do with the turning the
water into
16
wine.
volts into the 8 volts.
All right.
Something to do with PP bus. I can't remember. It's been forever.
All right, let's just measure and see if any of these pads are friends with ground.
Yeah, Brian C. says, it looks like the ones on the MacBook Pros. Also, the MacBook Pros have it.
Okay.
We got Rodrigo wants to know what are the markings on the top of that chip.
DP something. All right. Why is this all... Listen to this, Mark.
Do what
Sounds
now?
I hear some stuff beeping. All right.
Is your board still hot?
No. And my 2 lines aren't either, but I thought that was supposed to be one of the 2 lines.
How did removing the chip suddenly create a short?
This board is messed up. This board is weird.
Yeah.
It's got some crazy stuff going on. Let's head to ZXW to see if we can figure out what in the heck is going on in here. All right, so now this which that doesn't make sense. Is this short over here but not over here? All right, let's go back and measure. Help me out. Figure out why this doesn't make any sense. All right, so let's see. It looks like we have over here where we've been testing that same line, 0.285. Am I wrong? So look at the little coil and then the two guys above it. That's where we've been measuring our 0.8 CPU voltage. And now when we look over here, see? Little coil, two guys above it. Okay, that is the same as these here and that.
Correct.
And according to my calculations, you know, here to review is
we got, what is it when you're on there?
0.298. And then over here,
is that the way the lights reflect? Like, why does it look like there's 3 pads connected there and not just 2?
just a smudge from measuring it. Here, I'll tighten it back up so that for your visual
yeah, it looks a
OCD.
little,
I wouldn't want you to
little off there.
to get upset about that. There.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Does that look
Right.
better?
I like that. That's
Okay.
good.
Like it to be. But now back to the question.
Now take that measurement again and convince me.
Okay, I will.
All right.
And the following doesn't make any sense, but is short. Boom. Did you
Okay.
just say
Well,
the what?
I mean, the only explanation is that yet again, ZXW has lied to us.
That is fake news. All right, so that means that
Yeah. You do what now?
all right, so let's look for
Check our other board.
let's look.
Check our other board.
Do you want to take that chip off? Okay.
No.
Just measure to see if
Like,
they're the same.
what else-
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
measure
All right.
from that cap next
Are the following the same resistance to ground? Oh, am I going to be able to get to it?
No.
Where's my spot? All right, fine. Do I have to cut this bracket? Is this guy him? Let's see.
Ooh, it'd be
I don't want
nice.
to cut the bracket. I want him to be him. Where's my spot? Why am I lost? What the heck? Oh, Lord. Okay, there we go.
Using the iPad again.
All right. No, no,
You can't get to him.
cut the bracket.
Ugh.
We're going to sacrifice the bracket on this beautiful, no good. That's as far as I'm going to go. I'm going to cut the bracket.
You're compromising the structural integrity.
I'm making this a PC right now for you, Steven. And I hope you appreciate it. I don't think Drive Savers would make something a PC. All right, let's see.
Alex Canty says you had a higher diode mode reading on the bad board, suggesting a burnt trace from short internal to board.
Nah, that doesn't happen. Shorts don't go internal to boards like that. I've never seen that.
Yeah, I mean that would be.
You'd have to have a mechanism, I don't think so.
Shorts burn up internal to the board when the short is somewhere else, but the
Yes.
thinnest wire is inside
internal the board. Exactly. Gotta have a mechanism. That doesn't have a mechanism. Boards don't just go on fire up here for no reason with no signs and no fire. Okay.
All right.
And
so-
now, but I like the thinking, Alex. Keep it coming. Keep hitting it. All right. Continuity. Let's find out. Here on Christie's probably good board. Correction, known good. Do we have continuity between whichever side of this is not ground? So right here. And this guy. Nope. God God damn ZXW. All right, let's find out. Is there anything nearby that it does have continuity to? Or ZXW is nothing but all lies.
I'm telling you, ZXW
Damn you,
has been
ZXW.
lying to us.
Damn you, ZXW.
Like, you especially can't trust it when it's bareboard and you can't see the net names to confirm.
God damn it. Yeah. Man.
So it's trolled us this whole time, hasn't it?
Yeah, it sure has.
So we measured a voltage that wasn't even the voltage of the thing that we were worried about.
That's exactly right. And
well,
now,
we still found a short.
yeah, but what? Now we don't. Now we've got no
The
information.
hell does that short?
Now
connect to?
here's how I'm going to find out what's this line
drag the
really
thumbs
on.
around the board.
Yeah, exactly. That he thinks that he acts like that's a joke. All right, now we're going to be our own DIY ZXW.
All right. So
What is on this line?
Brian
All right, these
C,
two caps.
Brian C believes he's identified the chip that you took off.
Good. What is it?
He says it's SLG5AP1.
That's the same one. That's the
DTR.
grape. That's the grape one, bro. Look at this.
Yeah. All right.
This is what I said.
all right.
Roll it back.
You're right.
2 minute one.
You're right. Okay.
We're right.
Okay.
Let's have a
All
look.
right.
Let's go have a look at the iPad Mini.
Let's find the data sheet.
Brian, did you identify this on the iPad Mini? This is
Good
why.
job, Brian.
Thumbs up.
White LED power supply for large backlight display.
All right, so let's go on a hunt. We're going to open the schematics.
That is not
And we are going to go to the iPad Mini. And on the iPad Mini, anybody know what this guy is? It is I don't remember.
data sheet not found. Please email us. No, thank you.
Let's see. Let's just type in grape, and I bet we can find it. Oh, let's find our way to this, potentially the same chip.
Wait, now I'm finding like forum posts on Rossman's board.
Rossman?
Asking
Oh, here we go.
to find the chip for a MacBook Air. It's
Oh,
the same chip.
yeah, it's this right here. This guy. Is this what he just said?
SLG5AP1443.
Close enough. SLG5. See how this is my favorite because it says grape. Get it? Grape? Yeah, it is. It's 8
Not the
dudes.
same chip?
Close enough.
Can't
Look.
swap 'em?
Yes, you can.
No way.
Totally can. Look, this is how we can figure out. This is what the chip that we just took off did. And it is kind of interesting. Maybe Alex is right after all, because this is a line for touch in the Mini. Look. This is main, goes in at pad 1. Ding.
Yeah, it makes the 1.8.
And then we have power coming in on line 1, which is 1V8 D, and then it's going out. This is the output, which is it's just passing through this guy,
Source and drain.
source and drain. And then over here we have cap to ground, and then over here the enable is going to be, you know, some resistor to some other line. Except the only thing different is it's a resistor to ground in this one, right? Which kind of doesn't make sense unless it's this. So, therefore, that means that this guy was getting hot because it was the thinnest wire, because its input was whatever the 1 voltage is. We don't even know now. The 1.1. So its input was 1.1, right? The 0.8 was never part of the equation. So its input was 1.1, and its output is the shorted line. Now, where does the shorted line grow? Maybe it is just like this chip, because this goes on in the Mini 1V8 S2R2 grape, and if you follow it to see what does it do. It goes through a filter, and it goes on out to PP1V8 grape filter, and if we follow that, guess where it is going to go? I'm gonna die when I look back at this thing. I'm like, it's like that grape chip in the Mini, like way early on. It goes out here to the digitizer connector, the touch connector, and it then goes on and is power for touch. Now we have power for touch burned up in this board, and this board has a presentation that is different than what Steven said. He said screen went on and off, it was blurry, and then he said he took it to somebody who changed the screen, but it was booting to recovery mode. It's not doing that for us, it's got a short. And we see a burned up touch filter. Maybe this is, I don't know, main goes through here and it ends up out at the touch filter. I don't know. That's what we should do. Let's check to see. I think we're going to have to just sort of research around to figure out where that line goes. But now, I think that we may have isolated the shorted line from its power source, which means that maybe it will show, maybe it will boot.
This is not required for it to boot.
Right. So we can...
All
now,
right, sure.
let's see, does it actually boot, but maybe it doesn't have image or touch? I bet that the short now is just cut off from any kind of voltage source. And let's see what happens. Let's see what happens now. All right, so now as we stand here now, the deal is that we have cut off this chip, and that has created now we know there is a short on that line, but that line is now unknown because when we click ZXW, ZXW is telling us that that pad is shared to this line when it is definitely not. So now
Steve thinks that we shouldn't
know.
have live videos like this, and we should have short, edited videos.
Thanks, Steve. Wait, Steven? As if so! End of story. Jessup broke the board in half.
Don't see the value of live for the consumer. So
Steve, there's like if you scroll up, look for this shape. It's an X and it's in a little red square. Click it. There, and that'll help you out. You'll feel like so much better. You can get like
Brian
sleep
C
and do all
really wants you to dig out the filter. He thinks it's an internal short to the board.
Maybe. But first, we're going to see. That's not a terrible idea. I like that idea, Brian. I really do. Does it boot? We're going to find out.
That the short is separated from its source of power.
Yes.
And we suspect that maybe it's not necessary for the device to boot.
Although, we're going to maybe have to suss out some kind of workaround. But we're going to see. This device now we can find out if it's actually in recovery mode, in which case we can then pretty promptly give up. If it now boots to recovery mode, then we can give up. Then we can give up. Then I'm definitely leaving for sure. I mean it. All right, so we're going back to.
If this boots in recovery mode, I'm booking a flight to Florida tonight.
Don't forget the hours of just making sure. Remember when we started and I said, "What are all the things you have to do before your flight tomorrow?" Those things are still to come. You know, just letting you know.
We'll save those for next month.
That's I might not have been clear when I said your only job was to sit here and read these items. I may have misspoke.
No, I take everything literal.
All right, now Mark will now do his one job and read the DC power supply readings. All right, ready?
4.1 volts.
All right, prompt.
All right.
All right, it's
low 70,
blinking,
20, 70,
blinking.
100, 0, 70, 100, 100.
A good old 100 milliamp hang.
Hanging out.
Sounds like
DFU mode.
DFU for the win.
mode.
Ready? What? I'm surprised that it didn't go to DFU. Let's make sure.
Yeah, pull up.
100 milliamp hang. You know what? This is going to be bad charge port or something now. Take it out. 100 milliamp hang. The super. I'm in DFU.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. If you say so, you're not in DFU mode. Fine.
Fine. All right, what we do need to do is measure. We can try to clear the actual short on this line. I think we should clear the short on the line. What?
Go ahead.
If we clear the short on the line, then I think we're pretty cool to just make a wire there instead of this chip. Don't you? That's how this chip always works. 1 V8 passes through the chip.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Okay.
Totally fine. If we want, if you really want, we could measure on the other board, just to piss off whoever said, I really think you should edit this stuff.
I would probably measure on the other board just to make sure it's the same voltage on each side.
I'm not going to do it now. We have to clear the short.
Yeah, well, I mean, after you clear the short.
All right, so let's clear the short. How do you think we should clear the short, Mark?
Put like 20 volts in there. It'll burn itself out.
Where's our short killer? We should use the short killer and just. Why are we wasting so much time? What a senseless. All right, we're going to inject. We're gonna. Yeah, that's the easiest thing to do. Although, what could possibly be the cause of a short on this weird thing of it was intermittent? Really doesn't make sense.
Yeah, the like physical.
The idea that it could be
actually seeing does not match what was in the.
Yeah, the idea that it could be here, though, I think is worth probing around a tiny bit. Is it actually burned here?
The background is blurry when you're putting in your lock code.
I know.
You know.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes
I know.
you go to the doctor and you're like, yeah, my leg kind of hurt the other day. I think I might have the flu.
Yeah. I know. All right, that doesn't seem burned up and spongy enough to indicate second layer to me.
Yeah,
so I'm going to leave that
totally
alone. That's not enough of a crater. All right. I need some kind of a wire. We gotta speed this up. All right, give me back one of these wires. Man, this has been a monstrously long
we're
day.
like at an hour and 20 minutes on the stream.
It's okay. We're gonna find. Well, we're not.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it okay?
It's 100% okay.
Okay.
Totally okay. I'm a professional, Mark. I'm a professional. How about this? Who thinks that we should quit now and just let there be a short in the board that we could probably solve?
Say yes, chat.
And just not find and cure the short and then restore power through this line and just give up now. When we could give up later. No, I don't think anybody's going to go for that. All right, let's actually see. Let's use this. All right. Are you doing a good job of reading chat?
Well, I was researching the whatever chip that was, seeing if we could find a data sheet so that I could be more confident.
Okay. We'll get busy. Surely if this is a chip that is in MacBooks, that it will be for sale. So why don't you look it up in a MacBook? That way you could use the Paul Daniel software to find out, like, does it do this? Is it basically the same exact thing?
I will look at that Louis Rossmann board repair post.
Will you?
Let's see.
All right. Oh, these tweezers have been. It's always a mistake to let somebody work at your station without hiding your tweezers. That's a universal pro tip. When you let somebody come work at your station, I have no Q-tips up here.
All right, Jessa.
Yeah.
Just for testing, it can be shorted.
Of course, I already said that.
Yep, you're right.
I told you. Told you.
All right.
You know how I know? Because I've already shorted that sucker on iPad Mini in saltwater damage.
Well, yeah, I mean, on iPad Mini, you can clearly see on the schematics that it's totally fine to do.
Yeah.
But I was not yet convinced that even though this chip is the same family, maybe it does step it down. I don't know.
You know.
I don't know.
It's like saying maybe TriStar, like, I don't know, does something different. No. TriStar's going to try. All right, let's see. God, these tweezers are really terrible. All right, we're going to inject. What do you think the voltage is? It's at least 1.8. That's such a troll about the only information that we have is in fact wrong.
Yeah, I mean, you can't even trust ZXW when it gives you all of the information.
Yeah, that's really irritating. This could have sped up a lot, I think, had it not. It had just it been like, if we would have measured that line was short, we would have left this thing alone. Highly irritating.
Yep.
We would have probably been able to find this a heck of a lot faster. Okay. But FYI, nobody is ever going to watch this part. This is just let's make it so that we can fast forward to the end and see whether or not they fixed it. I don't know. What do you think what do you think the answer is going to be? I think that Mark and Jessa are going to get this to the point where we can confirm that it's in recovery mode and it has a corrupt memory.
Brian C wants you to put 3.3 volts in there.
Well, Brian, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to put 1.8 volts in there.
And then just slowly crank it up until something burns.
Yeah. Until I kill that short. This is a time where short killer would actually be pretty fun. Okay, let's go to the hand cam. We are now going to see when we inject 1.8 volts into what we are sure is a shorted line of unknown name or function, other than almost certainly a power line. We're going to see what gets hot.
The short killer would have been fun on Marcus's phone.
Marcus, oh God, that would have been really fun. I mean, it pretty much was a short killer as it was because it.
Yeah, but if you could have put like 20 amps into
that would have jumped off the table. Yeah, that would have been really fun. Yeah. I felt bad for him that Solaris had stolen his home button. He's like, why is this like this? That is not normal. All right, now I have not yet connected this to that. Okay, let's make it so that we can all see, at least in theory. All right, what's gonna get hot?
All right, you're pulling like 2 amps nearly.
That's a lot. That's our wire. Oh, wire came off. Great.
You didn't need a thicker wire.
I'm gonna need some more wire.
Here.
Do you think it's a 2-man job?
Yeah, are you able to get that one on there good?
This one, I'm gonna put this wire on. That wire, I'm giving up on.
That one's not too thick?
This?
Because I got some good like in-between wires.
You do?
It's too thick.
Yeah, give me your in-between wire.
All right, I'm gonna go get that.
This one's burned off. All right, so that wire was too thin. Because remember, the thinnest wire is what gets hot. And apparently, the thinnest wire was that wire. So we're going to try to use... that's a little bit thick.
Solid core, not quite as thick as that.
All right, fine. So now we're going to use the Mark's Special Short Detection wire. And... I wish I could remember what side of the cap, the local cap there, is the spot. Just to get it on exactly right. Where'd you get this? This is really nice.
I got that. I'm not saying. But you can buy it for $3 an inch on iPad Rehab Supply.
$3 an inch. I like the $3 an inch. Alrighty. Okay, now we're gonna see. How about this? How about we are gonna check it out and then we will put it to make it more visible for all. Alright.
Oh, I saw. Do it. What? Yeah.
Right there.
That yeah.
Maybe on the other side.
There's nothing on the other side.
Yeah, there is. There's like one little spot. There's dudes.
Oh yeah, you're right. There is that little group on the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be.
All right.
That might explain why you couldn't see anything but the thing that wasn't actually the short.
Yeah.
Oh,
Is that
yeah. Yep. There you go.
But that looks like it's in the test point area. All right, let's all play. We're actually looking on the back of the board, which you kind of forget that there's actually a little party going on there.
You're gonna have to get the board out of the view of the hand cam to see the phone.
Hand cam is
Yeah,
such a
there
pain
you
in the ass. Oh, it's like, wait, it's working.
Right.
There we go. Look at
that guy right there.
that guy.
That son of a bitch.
Son of beach. Very weird. Look at that. That's on the party on the back of the board. Do you think ZXW is gonna even have anything back there?
Maybe.
Wow,
I
that's
wouldn't
pretty
trust
cool.
what it says if it did. I would just knock that sucker right off.
First, measure it. Make sure you got the right one. All right, which
Oh, you
one
got the
is
right
it?
one.
Wow, it's
Is it the one that looks like crap?
huh? Yeah, let's see. Let's go to.
The one that's all burned up.
It's not burned up. It's the one that somebody took a bite out of. It's gonna be that one. Huh. All right. And now we're gonna knock that off, run a wire, and then this phone will be in recovery mode and not recoverable. Okay.
All right.
So let's speed that up.
And now are you going to put that chip back on, or are you just going to jump it?
Jump it.
All right. And then I can start packing.
And then you can do all the audio ICs, because I
Yeah.
don't want to be left with any of them.
It's like almost 10:30 p.m.
Yeah,
I've got a flight at noon,
yeah,
and I've got about 4 hours of work ahead of
yeah.
me.
So, what's new? All right, let's get these suckers off. Well, is chat impressed to find the bottom side of the iPad Pro cap short?
Chat's catching up to that.
I think chat should think that's pretty cool to find. All right. Let's chat's
Oh,
chat's
yes.
probably gonna be.
Somebody asked the name of the thermal camera. 2 different people responded FLIR.
No! No. We're gonna go on a hunt. If you want to know what thermal cam, it must be this very specific recommendation, which is as follows. I gotta get rid of all this stuff. Hold on. We're taking a tangent. We're going on a big time waste here.
We tried the FLIR.
Yeah,
and
the FLIR.
we're not impressed.
Brr, not this. All right. We are going to go to. Oh, it'd be funny, like when you're like, let's just click over to browser, which was me and Mark looking up how much the Apple bug bounties were. All right, so FLIR, what camera? Go to iPad Rehab, store.ipadrehab.com, and type in thermal, and then you can see the thermal camera. So this is the one that we're using right now, the Seek Compact Pro with, and this is important, with the macro lens. That's what gives it that single cap resolution, the macro lens. Or you can get the Seek Compact, not Pro, and you can get the macro lens.
Same picture for both of them?
Yeah, I do. but you can feel free to edit that at any
It should
time.
definitely be different to reflect the difference in
It
resolution.
really should. But everybody buys that one, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
All right. And now, back to clearing the bridge that I made. Browser. Take a hike. Okay. Wow, everybody gets to watch Jessa braid. Oh, it's happening.
You're going to have to slide everything down a little bit if you want us to watch it.
Well, it is a small moment of shame.
Or slide it southwest.
Southwest, which is southwest.
No,
This?
like from you're facing north.
Okay.
We're still. You can't see. Can't see, Jessa. We can't see. No.
What?
It's-
Under the microscope?
We cannot see that.
You can't. Is this under the microscope?
No.
Yeah, it is.
Not
As
what
opposed to
you're
hand
soldering
cam.
on. There we go.
No, I don't think I can do that. All right. Well, it's done now.
You put the bridge back, then solder it off again.
There. Okay.
Wait,
Now.
this is still bridged.
No, it's a do-over. It's a Christmas do-over. There. Look at that. Jess is using braid. Holla.
Duke
What?
says, "Put the fat back. Jumper may mess with the power up sequence."
No, I don't know if I don't know where I put it.
You know what, Duke? We're gonna find out if it does or not.
Yeah, research. And if it doesn't,
That's like Jessa asked me earlier. Like, well, she made a comment. I'm not entirely sure if you can put the coils on like one way or the other. Like, I'm sure because
I tried it.
I've specifically been like, you know what? I know it goes this way. I'm gonna turn it around and see. That's what you got to do. You got to be willing to take those risks.
All right, now let's make
Sometimes
sure.
you put a jumper where a fet was.
I've done this jumper before, not on the Pro. It's gone. Although, you know what? I think we should put it back because I'm scared of the comments. Here, because of
Wait,
this.
no, but where are you going to get the cap to put back that you took off?
Oh, that'd be painful. That ship has sailed. Yeah, that
You
ship
take
has
that
sailed.
cap off your known good.
Huh?
Obviously.
No, I'm gonna. Because it's gonna boot to recovery. It's gonna be too much. Well, you know, maybe it's because of that. It's just too obvious. It's too low hanging fruit for trolls and comments.
Brian C said
Yeah, it's
something
pretty easy.
so horrible that Alex Canty was like, "No, we can't have that."
Oh, what was it? Now we all want to know.
Oh, I can't repeat it. Alex will ban me from the channel.
Ooh, I'd hate for you to get banned. No, I'm putting it back on because it's easy. You don't know what it's like, Mark, to get. Why didn't you put the cap back? You know what was it there for then?
I
You
know.
really put it back.
I know because my YouTube videos get like 30 views. So it's like, "Hey, bro, my phone won't turn on. What should I do?"
Put the
This
cap
is
back.
the comments I get, and I'm like, "Knock all the caps off."
Look, the last time I made a video that I took the time, Mark, in this like god awful saltwater damage that ended up being a EEPROM fault. I took the time to make an entire matching effed up donor board with matching damage. Like every single thing, I took off thousands of things. Every jumper, I made an identical one just to prove. See, this one boots and it passes update, just to not have any of that. What about the heat on the CPU? Isn't that bad? There. Now, short's gone. God, what a waste of time measuring all that nonsense.
Thanks, ZXW. You saved
Thanks.
us zillions of time.
Wait, what's the other? The zillion times wasted. ZXW.
Zillion
Zillions
divided
of-
work.
Zillion divided. Zillion ZDW. Now let's see what happens when I don't think it's going to be a goddamn bit different.
Hello to Brazil.
Brazil.
Yeah.
All right. Do you think it's
Tech
going to
Fest
hang
says,
on
"Hello,
100?
I'm from Brazil.
Is this going to hang on
Say hello to
100?
Brazil.
Is it going to hang on 100 milliamps?
No, it's not
yes
going
or
to hang
no?
on 100 milliamps.
It's going to be nope. It's going to be hanging on 100
It's going
milliamps
to hang at like 90
because it's
and it's going to
problem.
be detected in DFU.
It's nope. It's going to hang on 100 because it's in DFU, but it's got some kind of charge port problem now, and that's the only reason it's not detected.
Tomato, tomato.
Tomato, tomato. All right. I'm just
Nobody likes your blower.
my blower.
Yeah, your blower.
The hot air.
Yes. It's too loud. Everybody says it's too loud.
I'm very
Turn
sorry.
volume down on that.
Says it sounds like a drill. Somebody earlier said it sounded like a vacuum.
I'm very sorry for your listening sadness on this. All right, here we are now. Let's see.
Oh, now it's all. Hi Norway. Hi,
What?
Pennsylvania. PA.
Say hi to Pa. I think it's Pa. So it's my dad. Hey, Pa.
Pop up.
Pop up. How's Nanny? All right. What the heck?
Hi
Where-
Canada. All right, that's enough. We're done. We're not. We're
No
out
more
of-
high. That's it. That's max. That's the limit. All right, and now Mark will tell you what the trust-based DC power supply
0 amps.
says.
0 amps,
All right,
0
we're
amps,
about to
0
prompt
amps.
to boot. All right, so we've got this all hooked up now. And I'm going to do it. Last, it was hanging at 100 milliamps. What will it do now? Prompt to boot. And
75, 100.
it's hanging at 100 milliamps.
100.
Hanging at 100. It's hanging at 100 milliamps. No change.
Forever 100.
And this is why I'm glad I put that dude back on.
Uh-huh.
Because
Yeah,
if
so
not,
now-
if there was
now
a
there's no
jumper,
question.
no question, it is now. All right, pick it up.
Somebody asked what my channel is. My channel is my own name. It's Mark Schaefer.
Mark Schaefer.
Schaffer. I'm not the guy that trains horses. If you see horses,
You're on the wrong channel.
I've only got 2 videos featuring horses.
Okay, so now I really think that this, from his, well, it was detected in recovery mode. I bet that this is in recovery mode, like he said. And I'm surprised that it's not detected, but I bet that it's Christy.
This is what you.
How often do 12.9 charge ports go bad?
Not that often. It happens.
She said not that often, but it does happen.
Ugh. Because if this is in recovery, then I'd like to kick it out of recovery just to see. Because
This
it
is
doesn't.
what I refer to as a cascading series of bullshit.
Yeah, so this is hanging at 100 milliamps. That's a really tough category. If it were more than 100 milliamps, then we would look for a short somewhere. This isn't going to be a short. This is a, usually it means that CPU is okay, and this is the kind of information I don't know what to do next kind of state. So 100 milliamps really seems. Is there a tigress on these, Christy?
Duke says measure if fat even turns on, maybe fried from the short.
Yeah, okay. In which case,
The jumper would
I should have jumped it. All right, but the problem is that we gotta. Well, we can at least measure what it is now, see if it's 0 or not. We don't know what it's supposed to be. That's one of the problems. But sure, we'll do that. In which case, I will make this whole video into one clip called "Why You Should Jump Shit," and never put back on any caps. All right, let's do.
Replace every fet with jumpers, replace every cap with nothing.
Yeah. All right. What side? I don't remember what side is what. One side 0, other side 0.16.
That's not.
That doesn't
That's not what
sound
you
normal.
No.
No, it
don't like that.
doesn't.
Don't like that at all.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 1.1.
Mm-hmm.
Jumper. Should have jumped it when I had the chance. God damn it. I'm jumping it now. Because that is definitely consistent with this problem. All right. This is going to be great. I can't wait to edit this whole video down into why you shouldn't put shit back and why you should have put a jumper.
Are you really going to do that?
Yes. It's supposed to be 1.1.
Okay.
What do you mean? Am I really going to edit a video called why you shouldn't put shit back?
Yes, that one.
The question was she actually like
Why
I know
iPad?
you're really gonna
Why?
put a jumper there.
Yeah. Why iPad Rehab is never going to put anything back? Why? Like any just for iPad Rehab, you have to be iPad Rehab for it to count.
It's for weight reduction.
Of the video or of the device?
The board. Yeah.
What do you think this line even does?
Yeah, probably powers the grapes.
Oh, I'm kind of wondering, like, is that pad? Nah, that's normal. All right,
It's fine.
wire it up.
You
What
gotta make
are
sure
we
there's
doing?
you gotta make sure there's no short there.
There's no short. What are you talking about? What short are you possibly afraid of?
I don't know.
We've already verified that the line isn't short.
Yeah, and you stuck the chip on. It was. Now you took it off.
Huh? It's not going to be short. If it's, if it'll make you feel better. If, the person sitting here with hours of devices to put back together and... By the way, just to be clear, just in case it's unclear, Jessa is not going to do any, just put this back together for me. No reassembly.
Well, okay, but also to be clear,
Yeah.
Jessa may be getting a couple of things she gave to Mark.
No, that's no backs. It's like Punch Buggy. Yeah, it's just like Punch Buggy. It's like, here, Mark, thanks for coming up. How was your flight? Listen, here's my shit pile, and it's kind of like Punch Buggy, no backs. That's a one-way thing. Wait, what did you even get? That was like ancient ago. That shouldn't still be here.
Well, yeah, you'd think.
Well, wait, did you finish the 10S Max charging?
Yes.
Okay, good. I don't remember what else was in. Did you reassemble
I
the
did
ancient
not,
6S? You what? God!
God, no.
Jeez. Hey, Christy.
The split board 10S
Yeah.
Max that we didn't like was, something's going on there. No.
Oh, that one. I'll take that one back. I don't mind. Andrew, the Herman one or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's fine. I'll do that one. What else?
There's one more. I can't remember.
Is there? What's in the done pile?
No, not much.
What? All right.
not many iPads?
All right. Jumped.
All right.
One iPad. We did one iPad today, Christy.
Brian C says, "Why are you shorting those pins? Those are wrong."
No, they're not.
No.
No.
It is you who is wrong.
Let's review. We don't have any way to know what this chip actually does other than experience and guessing, which is a tool that we regularly employ. And from experience and guessing, we are going to show you a very similar chip on the iPad mini. And on the iPad mini, we have a chip that's going to be too damn hard to find. Yeah, here we go. On the iPad mini, we have this chip, which is also a 8-pad, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It looks identical, and this writing on the top of it, it makes it look in appearance. We think it's in the same family. And like this chip, we know we have main on pad 1. We know that we have ground on pad 8. And we know that we have a large pad 3 and 5, which on the mini, look.
We're jumping pads 3, 4, and pads 5, 6.
Yes. So look, this is one V8 coming in and one V8 leaving. That's the same thing we're doing. We're basically making this jumper but we're doing it on the iPad Pro. So that's the theory. That's why we're doing that, right? We think that here on this board, that what this chip does is it takes A and it sends it out down line B. And we think that despite me resisting the temptation to do it like this, which is what I would normally do, just to see if this thing could turn on, because remember, this is data recovery, it's just got to turn on. Instead of following my instinct, I put back the damaged, got super hot, was on fire chip that every single time, I can't remember, like, every single time which one's positive. I put back the damaged chip just to avoid complaint, which was a mistake. That's the mistake that I made. Should have followed instinct. All right. I'm going to follow this instinct and make sure that I actually have this hooked up right. Okay. And now, will it still hang at 100 milliamps?
I don't know, but either way, I am getting up and walking away once we see what it does.
Okay. Or will it finally just go to recovery mode and put us out of our misery because it was never
Dan the
recoverable?
plumber says these are the best streams.
Is that right? See?
Oh, that looks nice.
Oh my god! It's booting! It's booting! Ah!
Thank you, Duke. You were right.
Yeah,
The
Duke.
FET was blown up,
Yes.
but you were wrong.
Because you told us to put it back on. So thanks for the waste of time. Yeah. If not for you, Mark would have had extra time to reassemble that 6S.
Yeah.
So I'm sending it your way. All right. It's booting according to DC Power.
Let's see it boot with the screen, and then I am leaving.
We'll see if it boots with a screen, and then we'll pass this over to Mark to finish up this touch filter part.
No.
Man. All right. I'm going to see if this will actually have image, because now I'm curious what the heck the problem was all along.
You're going to look for that blurry image?
Yeah. Well, let's see. Do we have a easy to use housing that we don't? All right, we're gonna have to use this housing, which the battery's gonna be dead. C'est la vie. All right. Let's see. Christy's like, if this is how long it takes Mark and Jessa to fix problem iPads.
Yeah, she's like,
Christy, I hope
"That's
that
why I
you
put
take
them
the
in a file
lesson
until I can handle
that
more."
is, you should give up on problem iPads. All right.
No, the lesson is everything is solvable if you just neglect your family.
That's not a good lesson at all. All right. Let's see. So Mark, what would you do with a repair like this on your channel?
I would
Figure
fix
all this
it.
out, and then what?
I would fix it and then invoice it, and it would never.
Be a video.
Yeah,
And
right.
then you would,
Nobody
and then
would
you,
ever learn from
and you
it.
would take a picture and be like, and put it on team chat. Fixed it.
No, I'm like
Not even that. You wouldn't even put it on team chat.
Nope.
You wouldn't tell a soul. That's a sad way to be. All right, I'm not going to make the same mistake as any of whoever looked at this before. I am going to connect, even though the battery's dead. I'm still isolating the battery. All right, now we got to come up with Christy's known good screen. Yeah, all right, so this screen seems to work at least.
You can tell because it's on.
Is it though? All right. How many MA now? What
Dan
does
the
that
plumber
mean?
said Mark is right. I don't know what
Mark
that's in reference
is
to,
right.
but
Mark is
yes,
right about what?
You're correct.
What
I
would
agree.
that possibly be?
Wholeheartedly agree, Dan. Doesn't matter.
Okay. All right, then keep your secrets. What? All right. At this point, Steven should just get his data and get a new one. Oh, shit.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, actually, it seems like Steven might get back a working iPad.
We don't know. This thing's still going to have its blurry image and an original what the heck problem. All right.
Every time I put in the passcode, the background's blurry.
I hope that's what it is. I mean, I had somebody that I thought, like, you know, somebody that kind of knows what's what, was, why is known good have adhesive all over it? That's.
Well, I get how, like, sometimes the, like, behavior you normally wouldn't pay attention to,
Yeah.
when it starts acting weird, then you're
Yeah.
like, wait, has it always been like that?
Yeah.
Did my car always make this noise since I ran over that cinder block?
Since I ran over that cat.
that homeless guy?
Whoa, jeez. I was going to say deer. I was like,
We don't have deers in Florida.
what?
I mean,
Do you not have, like,
well, we had at least
like,
one because
pigeons
I hit it.
of the woods? Wait, you hit one deer in a state that doesn't have deer?
Well, like, kind
All right,
of
let's see
jumped
how
onto
long.
my
How
hood.
long is it going to take me to make these connections?
Longer than I'm gonna sit here.
I have a question. When this stream is over imminently, are you going to go, God damn it, why did I sit there for all that time? What's going to be the first thing out of your mouth once we're done here? Because mine's
Is
going
the
to
bar still open?
be, see you back at the house. What time do we need to go to the airport? Oh, man.
First thing I'm gonna say is, "Hey, Christy, you want to pack for me?"
How about,
If you're gonna fix my iPads while I do it,
we are done. We'll
one.
fix one. No,
I'll fix one.
I'm fixing this one.
I'll have Jessa fix one for you.
Right. It's really unfortunate that it's definitely not going to have touch because that touch filter is not on there, which means really for the sake of
That's
completion.
fine. No, if it boots, everybody knows that it's gonna work when you put.
That's
that
not
touch.
how this channel works.
I know you're gonna put the touch filter back on, and I'm going to be long gone.
Oh, all right. Where's the red cord? Because now it's going to have to charge. All right. Now let's see what is going to happen. All right.
Plug it into a real charger.
All right. Let's put on the hand cam. Oh, not that. There we go. All right. Charger.
I didn't tell you about hitting the deer.
What?
Coming back from closing on my house, like taking the
That's
backwoods
depressing.
road.
Like, there's nothing better than closing on your house. Like,
I know.
that's such a relief.
It's like such
You're
a
like,
great day.
I think I'll ruin it by getting in an accident. Yeah.
And this deer, like, he ran alongside the car and then like just cut in front of it and just kind of like laid on the hood.
What?
Yeah, dented the fender in the hood, and I hit the brakes, and he flew off into the ditch, and then just got up. And
All
ran away.
right. So far, so good.
All right. That's it. That to me is done. That's
real close to being
that
done.
is fan spin and chime.
It is pretty good because this, we know DC Power said it's going to boot, but you gotta see the
It's
image.
gonna boot.
Yeah, but what if it has a wonky image?
I know.
I don't think it's gonna. I think that was
just
fake news.
Give me a yell. Let me know if it works.
Okay. What do you think was wrong with it originally?
Intermittent short on something to do with image.
I don't think so. I bet
No,
it was. I bet it was
where
bottom
that
of the
cap
board
is at.
installation problem or something.
You think somebody took the board out?
No, I don't. No, I think that it like
this was
like
like
factory defect installation. Like
Okay.
is there any kind of like why is there no sticker on the back of that? That was exposed components sitting on ground that are like not
Yeah. Okay.
touching anything. So anyway, how long are we going to sit here and let this thing? It is consuming normal charging current. And I wish I could fix the touch filter. Dare I take the screen off, fix the touch filter while it's charging? I guess I can't because it's on me. But I'm really tempted to do that.
As long as you don't touch one of your tweezers to ground, you'll be fine.
I know. I wouldn't touch my tweezers to ground. I'm not a noob. I'm not a noob.
The other?
Because then if it's gonna boot up and it's gonna work, it's gonna be great. And I'm just gonna have to sit here with my finger on the battery indefinitely, watching Mark just trot around. Let's entertain questions from chat.
Travis Stamper wants to see an Apple logo.
Okay, Travis, coming right up. Now, does it have to get past the Apple logo? All right. I'm kind of glad it worked out like that with the whole, like, put it back. No, jump it. No, put it back. Now jump it. You know, like this, the idea of, oh, you know, this is something that somebody made a comment about. Here, all right, I can't remember anything. Apple logo or it didn't happen. Okay.
All right, here we go. No.
Here is, are you going to do something like reassemble one of these phones in the time that we're waiting for this battery to charge? So somebody who knows, who can tell me on chat that posted this comment about this practice of, did you just knock over the green screen?
Did I? It's fine.
Is it fine? Is it though?
You know they have little feet to keep them from doing it.
I know, but then they're not up for very long. So, oh,
They're only up for 2 hours at a time.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Come on, it's charging. How long is this going to take? I'm committed now. I am committed. We're going to get to the end. So there was somebody that commented about this practice of going around and reducing complexity and keeping things simple. So some guy, what's the word for it? Some guy would troubleshoot old TVs by going around and just taking off components and hacking off components and cutting off components until he got to like the minimum set of things required for the thing to turn on.
Yeah, that's what you do.
Yeah, and so he that practice got named his last name, and it was like surprisingly efficient because there was a lot of components that generated a lot of heat and made these TVs really inefficient that were all there for the purpose of getting really long range reception. So most people didn't need those at all, you know, and so all these things that he kind of fixed. Charge faster, give it 110 volts. Yeah. Munsing! Yes! All right, let's look it up. Let's go on a hunt. We are going to look that up. Let's go look that up together. Let's surf the internet together while we wait. Munsing. Yeah, Munsing. Capacitor. Let's see. No. All right. I'm pretty sure I spelled it right. No. Come on, help me out, chat. No. Exorcist, no. That's
Muntz, M-U-N-T-Z.
Like, Muntzing. Yes. Yeah. Forget about the crazy guy. No. The practice and technique, reducing components inside an electronic to minimum required for it to function. Yes, also known as troubleshooting.
He's a self-taught electrical engineer.
Yes, love that guy.
That's how self-taught guys do it. Like this is
don't
the first
need
I've
that.
heard of him,
Don't need that.
But it's like, yep, you're right. That's how you do it.
He's my people, Uncle Earl.
Yeah.
And electronic salesman. So let's see. Very complex. 30 transformers, rheostats. Blah blah blah. They worked very well close to transmission. He carried a pair of wire clippers around. When he felt that one of his builders was over-engineering a circuit, he would just start cutting shit out. And when it stopped functioning, he would put in the last part and leave it as it was. Don't you love it? I know.
When I was trying to figure out how to fix Samsungs, That's exactly what I did.
Yes.
Just take shit off until it stops working, then put that last thing back, keep going.
Are you disappointed that this isn't called chafering?
No, Munsing sounds way cooler.
Way better, the Munsing-Schafer method. As a result of removing tubes and greatly simplifying circuits, originally designed to boost function in fringe areas, his TVs generate less heat, diminishing overheating that was one of the most common reasons for failure. Reduced circuitry also reduced the power requirements. Smaller power supplies could be used. They weighed less, and they cost less. Keep it simple. Minimalism. I love it.
Yeah.
I thought
Earl
that was...
Muntz, Earl Madman Muntz is my people.
Earl Madman ones. Oh, this really sucks because like when you're this deep in, you're gonna sit here. It's like, is it faster to let this just like it could just be another 10 seconds? You don't know.
Where's your phone at, Jessa?
We could. Oh, I really don't know.
No.
Not with me. Around. Why?
No reason.
Why?
No reason.
Let's
see.
What's going on here?
Let's see.
What? Why are you? I found it, but now you can't. But now you can't have it. Oh.
Apple logo. Done. Solved.
This is painful. I kind of wish I'd measured the battery so I knew if it was like how dead it was.
I'll tell you, because it showed that battery symbol, I'm betting it was at least.
I know, but
3.4,
now
3.5.
it's charging at 2.37 amp, which it was less. So now it's like it had to like kick in. That's not hooked up. Bro. Here, let's see. Wake it up. Low battery. Low battery.
Insert another battery?
Well, it's like I could swap the board. I could, you know how what a pain in the ass is? I could take the board. Huh? No, I'm not doing that.
You could, though.
Yeah, but it wouldn't have touch, so what's the point?
It's not going to have touch either way.
I know, but, you know, it's like, it's, I don't see the point. I wish I had done that though now. Now that I'm this deep in, there's no way that I'm going to be like, well, let's just go back in time and just put it on DC power. Let's take questions from the audience. Let's see what's going on. Let's talk to some peeps. Let's go over here and look at live streaming. Should have switched the stream to 144p, then showed us the back of the iPhone. Oh, okay.
Oh, there we go.
I checked TriStar on an iPhone 6. What? I don't know what that's about. No data without touch. Yeah, but touch is you gotta obviously put another wire, and then we got touch for data. Because that's what we learned today. Wires all the way around. Did you wilderize? We munsinged the MOSFET. I munsinged the hell out of that MOSFET. All right. Hi, Brian. Why do you have a bunch of dead batteries for testing? Seen you do that. So, this is his own housing, bro. Because we have one known good iPad Pro, and it is sitting in its housing, and I don't feel like taking it apart. All right.
Zatharian wants to know why he's still having to turn on his AC when it's still winter. If you're in Florida...
What?
It's because you're in Florida.
Where do you see that part? I have a question. Why am I having to turn my AC on my AC when it's still winter? I don't know. I haven't heard anything about like the globe getting hot or anything. Have you?
No.
Nope. Doesn't make any sense.
I'm
have you ever
sure
fixed an Apple Watch?
Florida used to be 130 degrees in the summer.
Have you ever fixed an Apple Watch? I did, and I said,
I did once.
never again.
Yep, one
and
time.
then I
then you did it
begrudgingly
again?
did it again, and I said, never again. Seriously, I mean it this time.
Like, Sonny just asked me like a week ago if I would
Ooh.
fix an Apple Watch, and I was
Ooh,
like,
no,
You know
I
who
will not.
Fix that?
Hells no.
You know who will fix that?
Apple.
Louis Rossman.
Yes, yes. Louis Rossman specializes in Apple Watch
Go talk to Camille. Ask him to
and
fix your Apple Watch.
Surface Pros
Yeah, Surface Pros and Apple Watches.
and cameras. And what else is like really bad? Louis loves fixing Apple Watches. It's his specialty. All right. But you had the battery connectors for your PSU, didn't you? Yeah, this entire time we've been booting it on DC power, but we wanted to put it together to just show that it's all working. We already saw that it booted on DC power, but it didn't have a screen, and so now we've plugged the screen into the housing. Because these screens, you don't want them to come off and on. It's best for it to kind of sit here in the housing. If I knew that it was going to have a super dead battery that would take more than like 10 seconds to charge, I probably would have reconsidered it. But now, Rodrigo changed the screen on a watch and said, never again. Alrighty. Apple Watches are a pain. He loves fixing iPhone 4s. Help Louis on right to repair.
If you're ever in New York City and you break your iPhone screen, just buy a new one, bring it to Rossman Repair Group, and ask them if you can get a discount for bringing your own part.
What?
Yeah.
That's not a good idea.
He does it for like $15 if you bring your own part.
Yeah. What else does Louis do? Yeah, Louis will.
He babysits cats.
Louis
Bring your
will
cat
give
by.
you $10 off. It's a little bit of an Easter egg. Not everybody knows it. If you give him a hug, he's a hugger.
Oh,
and
yeah. Give him a hug. Tell him
him
Mark
a-
sent you.
Yes, if you just give him a hug, then he'll give you at least $10 off any repair. Yes, it's a little known secret. Shh. Oh my gosh! All right. VHS data recovery. Oh my goodness! All right.
Ooh, iPod Classics.
iPod for Louis.
Yeah.
Yes, he likes iPod Classics. If they, you know what? I actually did refer him a clicking hard drive iPod. He's mean. He sets his phone to call over here with every pain in the ass customer.
No, I know. I've sat there in his shop listening.
And then he's like,
to
I forgot to turn it off. Oh. No.
No, I've listened to Steve go like, oh, there's something wrong with your iPad? You need to go to iPad Rehab. Like,
No, your phone is in a boot loop and it fails with error 14. You should send it to Jessa.
your iPad's only booting to DFU mode? Yeah, Jessa fixes those.
Yeah. Oh, your iPad has an easy to knock off short. Send it over here. Oh, this is getting to be like kind of not fun. Christy, how long does it take a super dead iPad Pro to charge up enough to boot?
A day or two.
Did you just say a day or two?
Yes.
Ah. Mark, should we take out the board on that other one? It's not that hard. How many screws is it?
I think you should.
The screws are all out already.
What? The screws are out on that other housing?
I think I did
Oh
like
my
that for you.
god. What? What?
I've got a crap ton of screws over here, so.
See if that really doesn't have any screws in it. I mean, no, it's got screws in it. You got to take apart all that stuff at the top. Don't worry about it.
Oh, yeah. Christy,
What?
you.
Did I not?
Oh wait, that's not it. This is the one this is the known good.
Oh.
Yeah, this is like super easy. This is like 3 clips and no screws. God damn it.
Here.
Thanks. This is the one that's in Christy's queue.
That's the next one you're gonna fix on stream
No.
right now.
No. Mm-mm. Let's see. Coronavirus kills us all, or will the iPad get charged? God, this is worse than Lewis did a stream once where he ran out of batteries on his microphone and he just got up and left and went to the store. Just waited. Oh, jeez. What is the problem? That if you are just joining us, the problem is that this pain in the ass, really challenging repair that had no information that we had to just kind of figure out with experience and instinct and intuition and comparing to ZXW, which was wrong, finally led us to something that we fixed that now, with DC power, looks like it's booting. That we have now wanted to just show that to everybody by putting it in its housing so that it could boot up. It's a little bit questionable because the note said that the entire original problem is that it had a weird and blurry image and, who knows. Measure the battery voltage. If that battery voltage is 4...
It is 7.
3.7.
That's what I said.
All right. Is it worth it to swap to that? All right, fine. All right, we're going to swap to the known good. Because it's charging this entire time. It's charging. It's charging, but this has been dead for a while. So, all right, we're going to swap to we're doing it to the housing that has a charge battery. All right. And since I'm taking the board out, I'm going to put that goddamn jumper on there. Just to piss off Mark. Is there ever been a case where measure the battery on that? I want it to be like 3.69. All right. In the meantime, we're gonna finish this up so that we can see it.
3.65.
God damn it! Oh, jeez.
You were so close.
Did I mess the microphone up? It just like went all super red.
Don't say those
Sorry.
words.
Sorry.
You get donations.
I got a donation for $2. Thank you, Richard Moore. Oh, and I just saw like it. All right, we're gonna do this real quick. God, I can't believe that 3.69. All right, at least we're gonna fix this. We're gonna just make this work. And if it does, this one I will come back and put a proper filter there. But for right now, we're gonna make a wire. Because we got a wire available. So we are going to close the loop here. Stop acting horrified, Mark. All right, Mark, question. If you were at home and it were 11 p.m., and you had been working, 14-hour days for about 7 days in a row, and very close to being done.
If I was at home and it was 11 p.m., my workday would just be starting.
No, it was 11 p.m. You've been working like almost 24 hours, like the day before. How about that?
Okay,
Yeah. Then, just to see whether or not this job was going to work, would you put a jumper here?
Never.
You would. You're lying.
Not ever.
That is lying.
I would never do
Lies. Fake news.
No.
That is. That's true. All right, so we're just going to do this just to test. This is not something that I would leave in the device. I would turf this back to Christy Q. Because she loves this job. She really does. I'm pretty sure this is her favorite job. Let's find out.
Christy, find all the wires.
Christy.
Filters.
Except for the one. Leave that one alone.
No, you can put a filter there too.
Oh, for the MOSFET?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be really funny. What's your job? I'm the jumper remover. I'm the jumperist. I
Replace
erase
MOSFETs with filters.
all jumpers. All right, now let's make sure that we didn't make short. Because it would be cool.
Can we put a shorted cap where the MOSFET was?
That's what we should do. Instead of replacing jumpers with filters. You what?
I haven't quit in a really long time.
She said, I haven't quit in a really long time.
Oh,
Right. It's because it's so much fun, because it's super fun.
You would be really bored if you ever actually quit, Christy.
Yeah, Christy. You'd be so sad.
Mm-hmm. I bet Jean cries herself to sleep every night.
She does. That's what I heard. It's the trail of tears.
In her pile of money. She wipes her tears with $100 bills.
All right. This is the not fully charged, but has a little bit of charge in it. It has exactly 1/10 of a volt more than the one we've been sitting here charging.
On the threshold of what I think might boot.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh my god. Redonkulous. All right. And nevertheless, isolate the battery. Where's that screen? Is it this?
It's on me, bro.
All right. Now we are going to. Now it's gonna boot. And now it's gonna have touch, and we're gonna recover the data. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna actually recover the data, especially where the note said came on a few times before it died. Man, I wish I'd backed it up. That's always the unkindest cut, when you know you're gonna back it up. You had a scare, but you didn't quite get it done.
Mm-hmm.
That seems to be pretty common. All right, this time I got to make sure that screen gets in there perfectly, because it's sitting on a wonky connector that has been on fire before. All right. Now, finally, this better work, or else we're flipping some tables. All right. God damn it, that's impossible. Connect. Did you see that? It really just split. It showed an Apple logo and it flicked. Oh, there we go. Oh!
All right, done. Apple logo.
Done. Done. What happened to the Apple logo? Why is it not charging anymore? What happened? Let's see. Give it another chance. Reboot. Show me Apple logo. Say no. Oh, new problem. Bye, Mark. Mark's like, I'm out of here.
is it doing now?
It's showing Apple logo for like 3 seconds and then turning off.
All right, let's see. Maybe it wasn't quite on the battery. Mark, it's staying on. Mark, you're gonna miss it. You're gonna miss it, Mark. Mark, you're gonna miss it. Look, you could be sad. Plus, you gotta enter in the passcode. I'm holding the battery down.
All right, what's the passcode? What is it?
Where's the note? There's the note. Grab the note. Yay! He better have the right passcode. Steven. You. Don't show everybody his nope. Don't try to unplug that. There, okay. Alright, passcode. Yay, it has touch. That's a really irritating passcode.
I know.
Is it all caps?
God, that light.
That is really
being
irritating.
able to see it.
Here. Yes.
All right.
Ah. There we go. Look at that. We got it past the data. Yay!
Okay, good night, everybody. Goodbye.
Awesome.
Good night. It's over.
There we go. Look at it up here. See it?
2.5 hours.
Wait, is it really? Shit. There you go. 2.5 hours, but it's recovered. Actually, I'm surprised. So the whole recovery thing was who knows what. The blurry image thing was who knows what. And now, honestly, the good news is that there's nothing really wrong here.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, this
I
is
wonder
gonna
what
be
the
working
original
out.
problem was.
I mean, I wonder what kind of symptoms that
I wish we had
capacitor causes when
seen
it's
it
partially
first.
failing.
Yeah, I know. Blurry image and stuff. All right, there you go. We're exhausted, and surprisingly, this one was a win. So I hope that you learned something on this one. It was a fun one. I like ones that are like this, and I think it was good proof for Mark that it's always fun to say, sure, why not walk down the real life, real stories of repair. This is what repair really is like. It's being a detective, and it's using all your skills, instinct, intuition, experience, and testing, measuring to get to a solution, no matter how long it takes, no matter what time it is at night, and always having a lot of fun while doing your job. We really love this job. So there you go, Steven. Good news. This iPad has booted, and seems like you are all set. It is working.
Do you think Steven's gonna watch the entire 2.5 hours, or do you think
He better. I'm going to give him some quizzes.
He's gonna watch 5 minutes of it, and then he's gonna skip to the end.
Nope, he's not, because I'll tell you what, just to know, Steven, I will not ship this iPad and data. Because you asked me to make this stream, which is why I did that, until you answered my quiz questions, including what is the name of the self-taught electronics guy that goes around snipping off capacitors.
Yes. What does Mark think that Australians call their friends?
Yes. Yes. In fact, if you did sit through this whole stream,
Then we apologize.
we apologize, and comment below.
Hopefully you didn't have your family in the room.
Comment below with some quiz questions for Steven that he needs to answer in order to get his data back. That is it. Thank you guys for watching. This stream was fun. See you next time.